Hi friends, it's Tegan. I wanted to put together a little video to talk to you guys about our budget for Artist Muse and just give you a bit more insight into why we've decided to raise £10,000 through crowdfunding, where that money is going, both because I think it's important that our donors and the people who are generously giving to us understand what their money is going towards, and because I think it would be really useful for other actors or writers or directors or theatre companies who are thinking of doing a show at the Fringe to understand the costs associated with it. And I also wanted to speak about the way we structured our budget to support our mandate as a company. So let's dive in. So before I talk about how we're spending the money, I wanted to talk about the ways in which we are also earning money. So we have our crowdfunding campaign, which you all know about, but we're also making money from ticket sales. So we'll be doing a run of 3 preview shows in London, and we've also got our run at Edinburgh Fringe for a month. Now, they advise that you budget and plan to have 33% attendance. So to sell 33% of your tickets. So for a full run at the Edinburgh Fringe, if we sell 33% of our tickets, we will make £1,860. If we sell 30% of our preview tickets, we'll make an additional £540. So that's my math is terrible, but about £2,200 is what we plan to make from ticket sales. So not a whole lot. Now on to how we spend the money, which gets a little bit complicated. So I'm going to come back to actor fees in a minute because we are paying our actors according to an Equity Fringe Agreement, which was really, really important to us. Now, director, writer, producer fees. In the UK, we have what's called ITC rates of pay. So we've got in the description here, this isn't ITC rates. I think this is just what's considered industry standard. But I wanted to point out that we've not budgeted to pay ourselves. So Diana, Clarice, and I have co-written this play. We're co-producing it, and we're co-directing it. And we won't get paid to do that. This is a labor of love. So we're not using the donations of our campaign to line our pockets. This is going all to the production, and I'll show you the budget totals in a while. So our crowdfunding will not cover the whole production, but it will make a healthy dent in our operating budget. So we've got some creatives attached to our show as well, but I've hidden those rows for now. Now let's dive into these other expenses. So we have budgeted to get our actors up to Edinburgh. We're paying for the tickets to Edinburgh. We're paying for round trip tickets as well for ourselves. We're each going to be up there for a spell, and our creatives. Accommodation. This is eating up a healthy chunk of our budget. People who've done the Fringe know that accommodation is one of the most costly things. It's $4,250. And we've got a modest budget for our set build and for costumes. And jumping down into more of our Fringe costs here. So just to register for the Fringe, it's about £400. Our theatre space, who've been amazing, so supportive, highly recommend. We're working with the Assembly. They've got what's called a marketing contra. So that's a fee to pay them to help with our marketing. We've sort of got a loose budget for printing costs, for flyers. You also get charged 4% of box office. We also set aside a budget for captioning. Now, we wanted to make our show accessible, and we wanted to have every show captioned. Unfortunately, it is very expensive, and there's not a lot of support to get that covered and make your shows more accessible. It's done entirely on your own. It's £170 for closed captioning for your first show and £130 after that. So we have booked in for 2 shows. If we can hit our stretch budget, then we'll be able to have closed captioning available at more performances. But right now we've got the 2 shows. But a small budget set aside for admin. And then Fringe also recommends you set aside a 10% contingency. So we've got that in there. So our actual budget for the show is close to £20,000. So if we sell 30% of our tickets with what we have so far in crowdfunding, we will only be in the hole £12,000, 948, that many dollars. So as I mentioned, we have been working proudly with Equity to put together an Equity Fringe Agreement to engage our actors. And this is in support of their really, really vital work they're doing in the Professionally Made, Professionally Paid campaign, which is a guide to combating low pay and no pay work in the industry, because we at WWWC believe that a better, fairer industry and a better, fairer fringe is possible. So Diana, Clarice, and I are actors. First and foremost, we're also now writers and directors and producers. But it was really important to us to pay our cast and creatives ethically and to support change in this industry and to use this production as proof that it is possible. It is possible to pay your actors fairly. You just have to be smart, and you just have to have that extra drive to really, really push your fundraising to its limits and make the space for that in your budget. And Equity have been great, really supportive, working to educate us. And so, as I said, we've been working to make an agreement with them. So they'll stipulate things like we offer vacation pay to our actors, the working hours, how many days in a week they can work, how many days in a week they can do shows. And they're really there to work with you and ensure that you're protected. So yes, a sizable chunk of our budget is going to paying our actors and our creatives ethically, both to prove, again, in support of Equity's PMPP, which you should Google, download that PDF and read it and know your rights, in support of their Professionally Made, Professionally Paid campaign, and in support of our own mandate. The WWC is a non-hierarchical collective of women and femmes dedicated to fostering creativity and uplifting marginalized voices. The majority of, between our cast and creatives, the majority are global majority are newcomers to the UK, and we wanted to create meaningful paid opportunities and credits for resumes and give people industry experience and prove that you can pay people while doing that as well.